So again, I'm just going to cut these and have pile A. I'm going to have all of pile A. There should be 8 of them. There should be an A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8. I'll put those all in one. You don't have to put them in a pile. You can just line them up if you want either way. But they're all in one group. And then I've got all the B's, which are the graphs. They're all going to be in one group. Then we've got all the C's, which are the word problems. Put them all in one group. So we'll have 3 separate groups there for our puzzle. Is you can take a blank piece of paper, or I'll give you a blank piece of paper or something, but what we're going to do is I'm going to take a scenario. So we're going to pick one of the scenarios. Let's look at this one. I'm going to pick this one, C4. So I'm going to pick C4. It says, after 5 minutes of climbing at a constant rate, Jake's plane crashed to the ground. Okay? So it says, after 5 minutes of climbing at a constant rate, Jake's plane crashed to the ground. Now, I want to look at a graph. Do you see a graph? And let's look at the x-axis where it's going up until it gets to 5 on the x-axis, and then it goes down. B1, yes. So B1, if you look at B1, it looks like this. This one shows a plane. So this shows this scenario. 5 minutes of climbing, so it's going all the way until it gets to 5. And then at 5, it stops, and it says then it crashes to the ground. Then it starts going straight down. So C4 and B1 go together. And then we just have to figure out what is the equation that goes with it. Well, how many lines are on this graph? There's only 2, right? So it's got to be one of the equations that has 2. So it can't be A1 or A3 because those have 3, or A6. It's got to be one of those. So I'm now going to look at, on the x-axis, look at how far across it goes. It goes from 0 to 6. The first line goes from 0 to 5, and the second line goes from 5 to 6. So do you see any of them, any of the equations that go from 0 to 5 and then from 5 to 6? Which one? For A. Goes from 0 to 5 and then 5 to 6. On your axis for A. A5. So A5 goes from, it shows you have a positive slope from 0 to 5, from 0 to 5, and then you have a negative from 5 to 6. So I know now, I've matched these. I know that A5 goes with C4 and B1. They are one box there together. And I would basically glue those together on a piece of paper. They're together. Okay, we're going to do one more to explain how to do this. So those 3 are together. A5, C4, and B1. Again, because you climbed for 5 minutes and then the plane crashed to the ground. So if you look at the graph, it's climbing until it gets to 5, and then it goes down. And if you look at the equations, it's going from 0 to 5, and then from 5 to 6, it goes down. Okay, let's pick another one for C. Let's just pick, I'm going to just grab one. C5. C5. You have a summer job that pays double time for overtime. That means if you work more than 40 hours in a week, you get paid 2 times your normal hourly wage of $7.25. So you have a job that pays double time. If you work more than 40 hours in a week, you get paid double your normal wage of $7.25. Do you see one that is going up from like 0 to 40. So we're looking at the x-axis. That's going from 0 to 40. And then at 40, it changes, or it starts going more. Which one would that be? B6. If you look at B6, it shows you getting paid all the way until you get to 40. Then at 40, you see the slope increases even more. That's because you're getting paid double. So C5 and B6 are going to go together. Okay. Now it says you get paid $7.25 was your hourly wage, right? And then it would double. So look on the A's. Do you see one that shows 40 hours and then $7.25? A7. So that's an easy one to see there. So $7.25. If you work, what that's saying is, if you work between 0 and 40 hours, then you are making $7.25 per hour. And if you work over 40 hours, now you're making $14.50 per hour. So A7, C5, and B6 go together, okay? So that's 2 of them. Now, there are 8, so I'll let you go through the others. One thing to keep note of, A1 and A3 are 3 equations. There's 3 things, right? So they will have to match one of the graphs that has 3 things, and the scenario will have to have 3 things. There's only 3 of them like that, A1, A3, and A6. Those are the ones that have 3 things. So you want to put those with the graphs that have 3 things. The ones that have 2 things, 2 equations, are A8, A2, and A4. So those will go with the graphs that only have 2 parts, and then the scenarios. So basically, if you look at the x-axis, you can kind of tell like what numbers they're talking about in the problem and how that relates to the problem. And then once you have 8 boxes, 8 different boxes, that means you got them all matched perfectly, then I'll give you some blank paper and you can kind of glue those down. You can glue them on the front and the back of a piece of paper, and then that would be it. You could then take a picture of them or whatever, and that would be your project. And again, remember the project counts as a test grade, so that's nice to be able to do this, get a test grade for it, and get through Unit 2. Okay, so that's what you got for here. So if you have any questions, you can let me know.